Welcome friends to another lecture on chemical engineering thermodynamics. This is Professor Arvind Prasad and today we will study about excess Gibbs free energy and activity coefficient. For ideal gases at constant temperature and pressure, we know that dGi, that is where G is the Gibbs free energy and I is any pure component I. dGi is equal to RT d ln of P. Now for real gases at constant temperature and pressure, we can write dGi is equal to RT d ln Fi, where Fi is nothing but the fugacity. We replace the pressure with the term fugacity when it comes to real gases. Now when we integrate this equation, we get Gi is equal to C1, which is the constant of integration, plus RT ln Fi. Now this motivates us to write for ideal fluids too Gi, which is nothing but the Gibbs free energy of any component I, a pure liquid I, is nothing but C1 once again, which is the constant of integration, plus RT ln of Fi, where Fi is nothing the fugacity of component I or compound I, but in the pure state. Now for ideal mixtures, we know that the total Gibbs free energy is nothing but the summation of the partial Gibbs free energy multiplied by the moles of the component. We can also rewrite the equation as such, and therefore we get the partial Gibbs free energy of component I is equal to the pure Gibbs free energy of component I plus RT ln of Xi. Now therefore Gi partial, that is the partial Gibbs free energy of any component I in an ideal liquid mixture. The partial, see there are three types of molecules here. One is red, one is green and one is blue. So let us take for example the red molecule. The partial Gibbs free energy of the red molecule in this mixture when it is ideal is nothing but C1 RT ln Xi Fi. Now how do we arrive at this? We just take this equation and substitute Gi in this from this equation that we had previously got, and we get this equation. Now for ideal gas, we have the partial Gibbs free energy of any component I is equal to RT ln Xi P. Now this naturally comes from Gi can be written as RT ln P. Therefore, we get this equation, and Xi into P, which is nothing but the pressure of the mixture, is nothing but the partial pressure. Similarly, this motivates us to write for ideal liquids Gi, that is the partial Gibbs free energy of component I in a mixture in an ideal mixture is RT ln Fi d, where Fi is nothing but the partial fugacity of component I in the mixture and ID represents it's an ideal mixture. Now if we compare equation A and equation B, we get C1 as 0, that is this is equation number B, and let's go back to equation number A. Now if we compare equation A and equation B, we naturally get C1 is equal to 0 and we get FID, that is the partial fugacity of component I in a mixture is nothing but Xi into Fi, which is the fugacity, the Fi is the fugacity of the pure liquid I. Therefore, for a non-ideal liquid mixture, from equation B, which is this, okay, we are motivated to write the equation Gi bar, that is the partial Gibbs free energy of component I in this liquid mixture, where I can be the red molecule, is equal to RT ln Fi. Now, the excess Gibbs free energy Ge is defined as the partial Gibbs free energy of component I in a real system, that is if it's a non-ideal mixture, minus the partial Gibbs free energy of the same component I if it was an ideal mixture. Now this difference is known as the excess Gibbs free energy of component I, which is nothing but equal to RT ln Fi upon Fid. Now we have Ge, that is Ge is the partial Gibbs free energy, excess Gibbs free energy, Ge I is equal to RT ln Fi cap Xi Fi. Now this comes from this equation, that is Fid is equal to Xi Fi. Here we define the partial excess Gibbs free energy of component I in a mixture over RT as ln gamma I, or gamma I is nothing but Fi hat over Xi Fi. Now gamma I is the activity coefficient of component I in a non-ideal liquid mixture. Gamma I, once again I repeat, is the activity coefficient of component I. Well, the component I is again the red molecule, it could be any of the molecules. Activity coefficient of the red molecule in a non-ideal liquid mixture. It should be noted that the activity coefficient for an ideal liquid mixture is 1. Okay. Now, therefore, we get Fi hat L, if it's a vapor liquid equilibrium, as gamma I Xi Fi cap. Now, the criteria for equilibrium, if we have phases alpha, beta to pi, is Fi alpha is equal to Fi beta is equal to Fi pi. Now, Fi hat is nothing but the partial fugacity of component I in the phase alpha, which is equal to partial fugacity of component I in the phase beta. And the criteria of equilibrium is that this should be equal in all phases. Now, for a vapor liquid equilibrium, obviously we have Fi, that is the partial fugacity of component I in the vapor phase, is equal to the partial fugacity of component I in the liquid phase. The partial fugacity of component I in the vapor phase is Yi into P, and this has already been shown in one of the lectures which I had derived for, on which I had discussed the derivation of Raoult's law. You can go and look at that video in the playlist, and this will be equal to gamma I Xi Pi sat. Now remember here that Fi, that is the fugacity of component I, is replaced by Pi sat. Fugacity has the same units as pressure. It is one way of representing pressure. Now for a liquid, the pressure under which it is any component I is nothing but its vapor pressure. Now this is known as the modified Raoult's law. Now note that this is accurate up to 10 bar. If you have distillation process or any processes which involve vapor liquid equilibrium up to 10 bar, this equation can be used for calculations and it really does not introduce a lot of error. Now, what are non-ideal solutions? Non-ideal solutions are solutions which are made by mixing polar components. When the individual molecules are highly polar, then we have a non-ideal mixture. Ethanol, water, well, it would be a non-ideal mixture. Ethanol, methanol, water, a non-ideal mixture. Water, H2SO4, it's a non-ideal mixture. It's a highly non-ideal mixture because H2SO4 is highly polar in nature. If we take HF, that is hydrogen fluoride, which is very polar, has a very high dipole moment, and mix it with water, this becomes a highly non-ideal solution. Now, the vapor liquid equilibrium of such non-ideal solutions can be easily dealt with such equations up to 10 bar. It does not really introduce a lot of error. The only thing here is one should know how do you calculate gamma I. Now, this will be a subject matter in future courses of lectures. For now, is the end of this lecture. Hope you have understood what is activity coefficient. Do write your comments. Do like and subscribe my channel. Have a great day. Bye.